Welcome back to the Football Martin channel. Special edition here on the channel. We're going to look ahead to the game against Aston Villa. We're relegated already, but I did think it was an opportunity. I always get FootballDad on the matchday vlog to talk about his memories of the club we're playing against. We're obviously playing against Villa tomorrow. And I thought, let's expand it a bit and let him talk a little bit more, because when you're putting a matchday vlog together, you're kind of trying to squeeze that into around 25-30 minutes, if not less. So we're in the cafe having a coffee, and I thought, you know what, just pull the camera out and we'll have a little chinwag, and we'll talk about relegation first, because I've not spoken to Dad on camera about that yet. Inevitable relegation, confirmed on Sunday. We go down as the quickest team ever in Premier League history.
Yeah, really sad, really embarrassing. I was talking to a friend of mine the other night. We've supported Saints well over 50 years, been to a lot of games together, and he said it's the most depressing season we've ever had. And he's right. It's been a complete shocker from start to finish, really. You know, from the minute at Newcastle when Alex McCarthy let in a light goal, it's just been downhill ever since, really.
Yeah, it's been a long season. You've watched a lot more football this year than you have done, just because I've been creating content. I pulled you along to help me. It's been great getting your thoughts and your views on the channel as well, and talking about opposition. I've really enjoyed. Before we talk about the opposition, a lot of talk this week, and I want to bring it up again. I spoke about it last night in my show. Loads of stories seemingly being leaked across the media last few days. Players didn't buy into Ivan Juric after 2 training sessions. I think we both said at the games that we watched, they weren't playing for him. Even against, I think it was Brentford was the first league game that you watched that he was in charge.
Yeah, it was dreadful. The 5-0 were absolutely dreadful that day.
They didn't play for him, did they?
No, I don't think they played for him at all. But the trouble is, the guy like Russell Martin before didn't help himself. You know, playing 5 defenders and no striker at home. I mean, it's ludicrous football, ludicrous. And there was obviously problems behind the scenes. You could tell from the body language, the way players were frozen out. You know, the whole debacle with Downs, which obviously faults on both sides, but should never have been brought into the public domain. Really poor, I think.
You talk about stuff being brought into the public domain. I didn't talk about it loads on the podcast I did yesterday, but there's been a lot leaked into the public domain. Unsure where this is all coming from, but there's lots of stories coming out, and there's now a lot of talk around the transfer business that was done in the summer, and we all know it was wrong and it wasn't right. Nobody's come out and said who was responsible for it. Some people point the fingers at Russell Martin, but there was a tweet this week by an account, I think it may have come from The Athletic, that Phil Parsons, the man that's been doing a lot of work outside of the football business, is almost his name had been thrown under the bus.
Yeah, well, see that's what the stupidity of it all. When you've got a football club, which is a big business, you've got people that specialise in certain areas. Now, Phil Parsons, from what I believe, is he is looking after non-football
Generating business, yeah.
Yeah, so fair play to him. You know, we've ended up with the fan zone, we've ended up with the Dale Bar.
And a lot of people criticise that on social media. We didn't need it, we didn't need this.
Well,
but to financially be stable, I keep saying it on the channel, it's really important.
Yeah, they have to make money from
to generate revenue.
Other revenue streams. And you know, to be honest, the atmosphere outside the stadium before the games has been better than inside.
Yeah.
Because we've been so bad. But in a major organisation, if you're going to, particularly a football club, if you've got a recruitment, then if the CEO becomes involved, as Phil Parsons, then he's obviously been told to by somebody higher up, because he's not just going to walk into negotiations and say, oh, you know, I've turned up to put my foot penny. It just doesn't work like that.
No.
So again,
all comes from the top, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, I feel sorry for the guy, because I think he's been. Yeah, it's typical fans. They will pick on somebody and they'll try and rip them to bits, but without knowing the full facts. But
Rasmus Ankerson's probably the one that needs to finger point out a little bit more than anyone.
Yeah.
He's headed up the football club for a long period of time. Certainly the recruitment, heavily involved in it apparently in the summer.
Absolutely. So if Phil Parsons was involved, then he's been either told by Ankerson or Kraft that they want him involved. And if I was in his position, I'd be a bit uncomfortable about that, because that's obviously not his specialist forte, which, you know, it's this.
Yeah, there's a lot of these strange stories getting leaked out all the time. across social media. It always happens when a manager departs. Everyone feels this need to put stuff in the public domain.
Yeah, I think
Martin's been quite busy in the media, isn't he? Russell Martin, that is.
yeah, but
Not really helped.
no, not at all. And to be honest with you, he was the architect of his own demise because of his stubbornness and the fact that he just would not change. But
End of the day, if he's the manager and he doesn't want to play it, because I've heard about Brereton Diaz, he wasn't particularly keen on him, but he's ended up with him. If he's the manager of the football club, surely, if he didn't want a player, you say, I do not want him.
well, that's right. It's easy to say it now. I mean, he's obviously trying to keep his own image intact, his own brand. He doesn't want it any more tarnished than it already is. But the whole root of the problem with this football club is the people that run it. And, Dragon Solek, they, say, oh, well, he's a great guy. But he let those other guys run it. And he must have had some idea of what a shambles it was becoming. And he waited so long to get rid of Kraft, the writing was on the wall. But I only hope now, with this new director of football, I see the recruitment girl, the assistant from Norwich, is coming as well.
Yeah, she's going to oversee a lot of the academy talent. Alfie was saying this morning.
So they've really got to go back to basics. But it's just a shambles.
It's a long road. It's a long road back. We faced Aston Villa tomorrow in the Premier League. You're coming with me. Full match day vlog coming up on the Football Martin channel. 3-1 defeat to Tottenham last weekend. Saw Southampton become the first team to be relegated from the Premier League this season with 7 matches remaining. And to have that cemented now, I just think it may take a little bit of pressure off the players. Obviously, Juric went on Monday. Simon Rusk, Adam Lallana come in. Adam Lallana looks like he's going to have a slow, his footballing days are kind of dwindled away, and it looks like he's going to take that transition to coaching quite early. He's going to go off into the sunset as a coach on the coaching staff.
Yeah, good for him. He's got a lot of experience. Another person who's been maligned and criticised heavily by some of the fan base, but I think he'll do his best. It was interesting that Russ said that we've got to regain our identity. Well, that's a bit of a damning statement.
Yeah.
But
I was just reading the statistic, actually. I've got my laptop to the right-hand side of me, and I've got a statistic. The Croatian manager, or ex-Croatian Southampton manager, Juric, holds the unwanted tag of the lowest points per game average of any manager to take charge of 10-plus games in the Premier League's history. He averaged 0.92. The question I'm going to ask you, Dad, is can Simon Rusk and Adam Lallana beat it? And for you guys as well.
I don't know. I
think he will.
I hope he does. I hope there's a bounce back and the pressure's off now, and they just get enough points to, surpass Derby's record. But they're not going to be any worse. I mean, it's incredible. We were at rock bottom after the Spurs game, and they brought this guy in, and he took us even further down. Yeah,
quite incredible. Well, we have Villa tomorrow. We take on Aston Villa. Simon Rusk and Adam Lallana's first game in charge. Villa, though, opposite end of the spectrum. There's no doubt about that. Unai Emery continues to thrive in charge of Aston Villa. They had a bruising midweek defeat against PSG in the Champions League. They've done very well to get to this stage. They've had a very, very good season under him. PSG return to Villa in midweek for the second leg of it. So they're at Villa Park for the second leg. I didn't see loads of the game, so I can't give loads of opinion on it. But they've done well to get to this stage of the Champions League, Villa, haven't they?
Yeah, Emery's done phenomenal. I think Emery was appointed around the same time as Nathan Jones.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, which kind of says it all, really. No, they've got some really good players. I mean, Villa are a massive club. They underachieved for a long time. They had spells in the Championship, second division. In the 70s, they were even in the third division. But they've got a huge fan base, England's second biggest city needs a top-class club, and I think they've gone that way. I'm really impressed with them.
And they've got the best kits in the league.
The
3 Villa kits are the best in the league.
Yeah, I mean that white away kit the other night was just
class.
Yeah.
We love our kits from working in the sports trade, but that is tremendous.
Bit of an obsession with kits, really. But yeah, I mean, so looking at memories, I'm going to start with a non-Saints game. The first time I remember seeing Villa was in the League Cup final in 1975, and in those days, Southampton used to get an allocation of tickets. So me and my mate bought a ticket each, and we went up. It was the first time I'd been to Wembley, and I kind of thought to myself, well, if I wait for Saints to get here, it could be decades. Yeah. And it was Village versus Norwich, and it was quite a reasonable game. But towards the end of the game, there was a penalty, and Ray Graydon took the penalty. Now Ray Graydon ended up at Saints on the staff. A good few years, he was assistant manager for a while in the Dave Jones days, I believe. And Graydon took the penalty, and Kevin Keelan, the old Norwich keeper, saved it, but Graydon scored from the rebound. And we were in the Villa end, so it's really good. So, the following season, and this is probably why you should never leave a game early, really.
Which is Southampton?
Southampton.
Never leave a game early. I never leave a game early, and I've stopped him doing that so many times as a kid. We're not leaving early.
It's the thing about catching an early ferry back to the Isle of Wight. That's what it's all about. But we were playing. We played him in the FA Cup at the Dow, and we were under the West Stand down towards the Archers End where the Villa fans were, and it was loud. Chris Nichol was playing. John Burridge, another old Saints player.
John Burridge, the goalkeeper.
And a very young Andy Gray was playing. And
Sky Sports Andy Gray.
And Sky Sports Andy Gray, yeah. And they scored in the 68th minute. Gray scored, just a tap-in goal, really. And it drew into sort of like the 88th minute. And my mate said to me, I've had enough of this for another season. So we made our way out, and we got just out into the car park behind the West Stand, and there was this absolutely outrageous roar, and Hughie Fisher equalised.
Oh,
so we went back in. By the time we back in there, it was all over. So, and we went to the replay. Graydon actually scored in the replay, I believe, and Jim McCalliog scored the 2 goals that gave Saints the game. And McCalliog, being a Wolves player, a previous Wolves player, wasn't very popular there, so it was a good result. And he was obviously the player that scored that free kick at Bradford in the quarterfinals. So a year after going to see Villa and Norwich, because I never thought Saints at Wembley, I was back there seeing Saints, which was pretty good, really.
Quite incredible. Any other good memories of Aston Villa?
No, not really.
Standout player for Villa?
Standout players. I mean, I think of people like Peter With. I think about Dennis Mortimer. Really, really good player he was. Obviously Andy Gray. They had a great spell when they won the European Cup, the Champions League, under Ron Saunders. There was Gordon Cowans, Gary Shaw, and later on Tony Daly. They've always been and they've always had cracking kits.
Yeah, they've always had good kits. Yeah,
always had cracking kits. I remember when they were sponsored by Asics, and the Asics kits was really good, and we sold a lot of them actually.
Yeah, it's got a good following, Villa. It's a massive club. Looking forward to it tomorrow. A little bit of pressure off Southampton. Some great memories of Villa with Dad there. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you've got any memories, drop them in the comments box below if you're tuning in. I know that loads of people enjoy memories. That's why I wanted to extend it a bit today. Yeah,
I think it's something we ought to do a lot more of. And, hopefully we can get 1 or 2 other ageing fans like myself on, and we could have a little forum and have a chat about the old days. And it was just so different.
Football's changed a lot, hasn't it?
I was just watching a video earlier on of the first year of the Premier League and the goals we scored.
Yeah.
And people like Nicky Banger and Neil Maddison and Ian Dowie and Latiz. We were scoring goals then.
Yeah.
The 2 things I noticed, we were scoring goals and we had stripes on the back of the shirt. Now,
can we bring stripes back on the back of the shirt?
Does anybody else think that a red back on a striped shirt looks awful? Because it really
does. Yeah. Can we just go back to red and white stripes both sides?
Red and white,
I totally agree. I think the best kit I've seen is so typical. Hummel this year have done an unbelievable kit for Sunderland.
Oh.
Their first kit is the best kit I've seen all season in any league. It's insane. Yeah. So wanted it to be a Southampton kit while Hummel would do it.
Well, yeah, that would have been ideal. But
instead we get a massive red stripe through the middle.
Yeah.
Cheers, Hummel.
Yeah, it was the old Admiral kits they were wearing with the black collar.
Yeah.
And the blue away kit and with the flames and the yellow kit. But I tell you, we were scoring some goals back then. Yeah. And it looks really weird seeing a Southampton player score a goal. Yeah. Really weird.
Long way back. Some great memories there with Football Dad. Thank you very much for tuning in. Full matchday vlog will be out this Saturday evening. So by the time you wake up on Sunday morning, you get my matchday vlog from yesterday's game. There'll be loads of fan cam, loads of reaction, relegation reaction. We're trying to get in amongst the Aston Villa fan base and get a bit of a feeling around them. We'll snippet that up into some shorts as well. The content's coming thick and fast. Even though we're relegated, I will keep the content going. It's going to be a busy few weeks. We've got relegation, obviously confirmed, but they'll be looking for a new manager. Transfers in, out. There's been a lot going on around Southampton, and I'm going to try and get loads of different people on the show. Alfie House is going to be a guest in the next couple of weeks as well. He's confirmed that with me, so looking forward to sitting down for a proper good chat with him. Dad, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you again tomorrow in the Matchday vlog. Make sure you smash a like on the video, share it with a friend if you think they may enjoy it, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't grabbed a membership, memberships from £1.99, well worth checking that out as well. Some exclusive content coming up over the weekend. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again in another video soon.